How is Singapore stupendous? Hundreds of international professionals are drawn to Singapore's thriving economy each year. But why is it so alluring? The Asia-Pacific region's major financial hub, Singapore, has a long history of establishing itself as one of the most advanced economies in the world. Singapore has the second most open economy in the world and the second most business-friendly government in 2017, according to the World Bank's Doing Business report and the Heritage Foundation's Index of Economic Freedom. Singapore, despite having a small domestic market and few natural resources, managed to withstand both the financial crises of 1997 and 2008. Singapore's economy is presently one of the most stable in the world, with no foreign debt, robust tax collection, and a consistently positive surplus. The world's busiest cargo seaport, financial services, tourism, and exports of machinery and electronics are the key drivers of the Singaporean economy. Which industries in Singapore are the main drivers of the economy? By far, Singapore's largest industry, manufacturing, accounts for 20 to 25% of the nation's annual GDP. Singapore's manufacturing sector features significant industry clusters in electronics, chemicals, biomedical sciences, logistics, and transport engineering. The manufacturing industry expanded by 35% in the third quarter of 2017, with robust demand favoring industry clusters like electronics and precision engineering. After the industrial sector, financial services make up the second largest industry in Singapore, and they have been steadily growing as a result of the nation's stable political environment and pro-business culture. The financial services sector in Singapore makes it possible to transfer expertise between national, regional, and international markets. More than 200 banks are located in Singapore, which is a popular regional center for many global financial services firms. Other developing industries that are making important contributions to Singapore's economy include medical technology, aerospace engineering, clean energy, healthcare, and content development. Natural resources in Singapore. Singapore lacks a significant amount of natural resources due to its smaller geographical size than New York and its location at the southernmost tip of the Malaysian peninsula. This did not prevent Singapore from becoming a global leader in sustainable water projects and solutions such as New Water and the deep tunnel sewerage system, as well as a regional oil and gas hub. The adage that Singapore's people are the country's fundamental natural resources is more accurate than ever in a developing economy. Local and non-local businesses can access a pool of educated workers as the economy expands, which will eventually lead to a growing consumer market. The infrastructure. Throughout the British colonial era, Singapore served as a commercial and military seaport. Therefore, its infrastructure has always been built. The post-colonial government of Singapore improved and expanded the nation's transportation, communications, industrial, and housing infrastructure after the island nation attained independence in 1965. Singapore's land transportation network includes 9,310 kilometers of paved roads, 199.6 kilometers of rail, mass rapid transit and light rail combined, as well as bus, taxi, and ride-sharing services that operate throughout the entire island. The transportation system runs smoothly, safely, and on time. Chiang-Mai International Airport has plane connections to 380 cities in 90 different nations. It manages more than 7,000 weekly flights that move people and cargo around the world. The Singapore port offers shippers access to 600 ports in 123 different countries and more than 200 shipping lines. The Singapore port is the busiest container port in the world, with up to 1,000 ships able to dock there at once. The country's communications infrastructure is also impressive, with 1.5 mobile phones per person. Singapore has one of the highest mobile penetration rates in the world, and more than 90% of Singaporean households have access to the internet. You can utilize wireless at SG, an island-wide Wi-Fi service, for free at hotspots like coffee shops, fast food outlets, and Shanghai Airport. Singapore also has easy access to industrial and commercial facilities for firms. Over 47.7 million square meters of strategically positioned industrial space have been constructed by the Jurong Town Corporation, JTC, and may be utilized to construct factories, warehouses, and business parks. The central business district and other areas of the city offer a variety of top-notch high-rise and low-rise offices for commercial firms. Public debt. Since 1995, the Singaporean government has had no external debt. As of the third quarter of 2017, the total outstanding government borrowing, which includes registered stocks and bonds, treasury bills, and advanced deposits, was $496 billion. The Singapore government borrows to invest, and the return on investment (ROI) from these investments makes up the difference. Therefore, this high number does not really reflect Singapore's fiscal soundness. The Singaporean government has a healthy balance sheet, with its assets outweighing its liabilities, thanks to the implementation of these strategic debts, good asset protection, strong economic development, and sensible macroeconomic policies. Primary sources of income. The Singaporean government's overall revenue is anticipated to be $96.7 billion for the fiscal year 2023. Singapore, like the majority of governments, receives the majority of its funding from taxes, including GST, excise, property, income, and duty fees. License and permit fees, rent from government-owned property, penalties and forfeitures, as well as capital earnings from the sale of capital goods are other sources of income for the government. Trading strength of Singapore. The world's 14th largest exporter and 17th largest importer, respectively, in Singapore. Machinery and transport equipment, chemicals and chemical products, and other manufactured items are Singapore's top 3 export and import commodity categories. Singapore exported goods worth $658.11 billion in 2019, with the United States, Australia, Japan, China, and the United Kingdom being its top export partners. That's it for now. Remember to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.